Welcome to Solutions for Life, your weekly radio source on pain management and healing. Join us now with your questions on our toll-free lines at 877-956-9566. That's 877-956-9566. Now, here's your host, Lou Paradise.
Welcome, 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 beautiful ladies and gentlemen, and all the people out there doing everything they possibly can to really make sure love and unconditional love is alive and well, making sure that we really make the time to pray and care about each other and be grateful to God Almighty, because wasn't for the Lord, for sure, we wouldn't be here doing anything at all, let alone something good. And we hope that you are going to enjoy this segment of Solutions for Life. I'm the host, Lou Paradise. And one of the things for sure that if you haven't heard the show before, you'll be, I think, pleased to know that I have 4 decades of experience in natural medicine, doing research not only as an educator, but also as a product developer. And I'm my founding member of Topical Biomedics, a company who brings you Topricin pain relief and healing creams, as well as our new My Pain Away products. And bridging the gap between natural biomedicine's innovative and all specialties of medical and alternative healthcare, very, very important part of what we do. And I'm also humbled to say that the work in the field has helped practitioners to use not only Topricin, but to use the whole philosophy that we can really look at the body's magnificent healing ability, which is the most essential thing. Healing and the power of healing is more powerful than all the opiates on the planet Earth. A lot of folks taking all sorts of pills that aren't helping them or making things worse. And now we're changing the way that we not only treat and diagnose pain, but leading to advancements in treatment protocols so that we have a reduction in RX pain meds, along with dispensing the information educational forums that improve patient-centered outcomes and contributing to the idea that we can get people better. There's no end-all, be-all kind of thing. There's no such thing as any miracles out of a tube, bottle, or a jar, even though Topricin products come in tubes, bottles, and jars, and maybe a bold statement that coming from a New York Italian boy that my products do come in those dispensing units. The body is an absolute miracle. And we know why, because God Almighty made it that way. And the more important thing that happens is we could do something about what's going on with pain. So if you're somebody who's suffering from arthritis, any form, doesn't really make a difference to the body. It does make a difference to us, obviously. Lower back pain, neck and shoulder pain, neuropathies, diabetic chemo-induced neuropathy, fibromyalgia, restless leg syndrome, the miserable foot ailments like plantar fasciitis or heel pain, arch pain, neuromas, ankle pain, shoulder pain, doesn't make a difference. What we've been through the process of for 22 years of being able to bring these technologies, and although it's a topical cream, it's bioenergy topically applied medicines. This is a very different approach. So Topical Biomedics is a research company. I'm the founder and with my partners, and I'm the chief of research at the company and the product developer, product inventor. So my scope of understanding and my work over 5 decades in education and research has helped us to give the educational platforms we bring you today. So this is not to in any way, manner, shape, or form to substitute for professional health care. This is an educational forum. I do have lots and lots of medical directors and doctors from every specialty all over the country that refer patients to me and to my educational pieces, primarily because this is a standing body of work that continues to grow in looking at what do we do internally, metabolically, what do we do from a nutritional deficiency point of view, hydration, how do we make those contributions so we can really look at what symptoms actually are, not treating pain for symptom control, winding up with functional issues and medical consequences taking oral pain meds, whether it be the over-the-counter type, and there's plenty of those, or opiates, including oxyvicodin and Lorcet Percocet, which of course is troubling because of the nature of the addiction that we have in the country, especially to oral pain medication. I'm going to kind of look at that along with what it is that, why is it we got pain pills everywhere and no relief in sight? And if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of trying to figure out what in the heck can I do about this pain and how can I really start getting it under control, you'll be delighted to know that our Topricin products are used in medical centers around the country to provide the first way of looking at helping the body heal the damage that actually is causing the pain. So you've tuned into the right place. So if you or somebody you love has got any of those issues whatsoever, we're always delighted to be here live in the cases of this Solutions for Life program. And that's why we call it Solutions for Life, because a lot of folks find out a lot of things here that go on to give them what they need to recapture the idea of their energy and their opportunity to get better and their hope restored, that now I can actually get past this miserable point of taking medicines that make me get brain fog and all kinds of other stuff, but don't relieve the pain I'm suffering from. And so this experience in looking at how we look at the obligation we have, and just to kind of let you know my personal mission, I was in the Marine Corps, so I'm Marine Corps combat veteran, 2 rotations, helicopter, medevac, rescue missions, a good deal of understanding how to fight the good fight. And the fight the good fight for me is I never liked injustice very much and wanted to stomp on that as much as I possibly can. So my personal mission is to drive an integrative, evolving model for medicine, natural medicine, where the opportunity for safe and effective treatments are worldwide, available worldwide. And some of the stats I'm going to share with you, you'll know why we need to get to that. And there's no one should ever have to believe that they have to suffer and continue to have this never-ending, it seems, suffering when we really can help to restore hope and quality of life. So I'm honored that our sponsor is our company, Topical Biomedics, because every citizen in the world, every human being on the planet deserves to know all of their available health and pain relief options up front. No one should have to live in pain, suffer the consequences of oral pain meds, chemical over-the-counter and prescription pain medicines simply because you don't know all of your options. So one of the things that we can do for you today is we can definitely make absolutely sure that if you have questions, you have anything you'd like to discuss along the lines of any of the kind of questions you have with pain, and especially any kind of physical pain that you may be suffering from, I would be very, very delighted to have you call in. And let me just see. I'm going to give you the number. How's that? Lou, how in the world anybody supposed to be calling into you, buddy, unless you give them the telephone number? And that is a simple one, 877. So it's toll free, 877-956-9566. That's 877-956-9566. We want to thank our phenomenal engineer. You don't know this stuff. You see, you don't know this, but we have the famous, the debonair and handsome Dr. Sean Young taking care of business for us, because if it wasn't for Sean, we wouldn't have the opportunity to speak to you, which to me would be like, no way. So welcome to the Patient Revolution. Honest discussions, debates can ultimately generate stronger understandings and alliances, so we can look at the entire community of working together, considering the nature of America's over-medicated society. And families cannot afford, and certainly our country cannot afford, to continue to go down this road. We do not have a healthcare system. Oh my God, what did he say? What did he say? What did he say? We have a sick care system, and it needs help. But we want to solve some of these issues together with our doctors, an integrative model that actually looks at how we look at patient care, how we can come to a point of getting away from this dangerous slippery slope of epidemic of RX opiates that horrendously lead to the epidemic of heroin addiction, both the worst the country has ever seen in its entire history, turning lives and people upside down, and from every walk of life. So the good news, oh my goodness gracious, the good news, and you know where to really get the good news. The book is the good news, but this good news is there are answers, and together we can solve these social issues. We'll be back with Solutions of Life. Lou Paradise, as long as Dr. Young said it's okay if I can come back and say hey to you again, in just about 30 seconds. So hang in there with us, and we'll be back with you and your calls in just a few.
Do you love walking, but your achy, tired feet won't let you? Whether it's plantar fasciitis, arch, heel, or nerve pain, Topperson Foot Therapy Cream's 14 active natural biomedicines helps your body heal damage-causing foot pain. Its odorless, moisturizing, provides rapid, soothing relief. Ideal for diabetic foot pain and will leave your feet feeling silky smooth. Best part is guaranteed to work. Find Topperson Foot Therapy in Walgreens Diabetic section or CVS's Foot section. Topperson Foot Therapy Cream for lasting pain relief guaranteed.
Welcome one more time back to the show, Solutions for Life, Lou Paradise. And I understand we have Linda on the phone. We never keep our callers waiting. Hey, Linda, how are you, my dear?
Right.
And how can I help?
Well, I just turned on radio, and I don't think I've heard your show before, so I haven't heard exactly what it is that you have. But when you say pain relief, my ears perk up. So I've been dealing with myofascial restriction throughout my body for 15 years or so.
Wow.
And I've been doing a lot of things. And I don't know if you answer questions just about your product, or do you answer things like I just heard about nitric oxide injections. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, nitric oxide, there's receptors in the body that actually produce the oxygen into the tissue that help. And, when you have myofascial restrictions, what other kind of protocols are you using in terms of, have you investigated massage or those? Okay.
Yeah, I have. I've been doing this for 15 years, did all the regular foot care conventional. Now I really do just natural. I take a few Advil once in a while just because that's not where my heart's at, is taking medication. But I've done, mostly my body responds to myofascial therapy or trigger pointing.
Sure.
I'm on a natural diet, good real food diet, and supplements. I work for a gal that does nutritional response testing. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So my
Excellent.
body's in great, pretty great shape other than the pain.
Yeah, really get rid of this pain. Well, here's the thing you're gonna love. One of the and so I absolutely answer questions about these because this is where the work really is in the physiology and the biology of the body and the body's physical ability to heal itself, and why it's essential to wake back up those oxygen molecules to make sure we get good rich blood flow always to tissue. The one thing about the body, especially in the fascia, is that a good deal of it is supported by two things: hydration, because there's a fluid membrane there, and the other side of it is oxygen, nutrient-rich blood, which actually is mostly through the microcirculation, the smallest little capillaries in the body. So the nitric oxide idea has its merit, but I'm going to give you another sense of why and something that is relative to how I engineered the products I developed 30-something years ago that have been in the market for 22 years. So we've had a tremendous experience with how this works in conjunction with massage, in conjunction with supplementation, in conjunction with hydration. And our Topperson, it's spelled T as in Tom, O-P, RICIN, Topperson, and I can give you our website too, so you can take a peek at it once we're done with the questions you have. And I'm delighted you called. This is a great contribution to other folks out there who have the same kind of issues that may not be able to call in or won't call in and get the information that we all talk about. So one of the things about and let me give you the website if you're ready for that. It's the typical 3 W's, top, T as in Thomas, O-P, the number 4, or the letter, or the word 4, pain.com. So top4pain.com.
Okay.
So go there and take a peek at it. If you want to order online, you certainly can, and you could use our discount code from the show, which is Lou, L-O-U 30, and you could go take a peek. Also, on our website, there's store locator, so you can go to stores locally. So we have product practically everywhere. In Ohio, we have a whole bunch of distribution there, so you're in good shape there.
Okay.
So here's what's important. Most of the time, topical products, analgesics, and I'm saying this with all love and respect, the hot kind of cold kind of smelly kind of greasy products, they never were designed to do anything more then deaden the sensation of
Right.
pain in the skin receptor, as you know, right?
Yes, yes.
Here's what happens. The skin and the fascia and all the things under it, the skin controls and is responsible for the immune system, for temperature control and regulating every single healing chemistry, white cells, enzyme action, metabolic function underneath it. When we use those hot, smelly, greasy ointments, just to give everybody else that sense of it, um, what happens is we literally shut the receptor down, which shuts the healing process down. Now, in the fascia with restrictions, sometimes the reason for that is scarring builds up in that tissue, and since the microcirculation is all you got there, it's a tough challenge to reverse and get the normal fibers back into order, which the body wants to do. So, Topricin products is the only patented pain relief and healing technology in the country, and the products are moisturizing, not greasy, because we use coconut in the base. But our initial product, Topricin Pain Relief and Healing Cream, which we had 22 years ago, and is incredible even today, and we have 5 more products, so we have a whole bunch of them. It treats the skin and gets it functional. Then it goes down into the lymphatics, helps to drain the toxins and fluid pressure off the capillary to get oxygen and nutrients back into the cells while it's getting rid of waste byproducts and toxins out of the tissue. This is what helps tremendously to restore a real vibrant oxygen level so that you don't have to necessarily go to nitric oxide injection. What this does is it wakes up the nitrous oxide receptors in the soft tissue that provide the oxygen needed in order for the repair of the cells to start happening. Here's the other side. Our products contain a unique enzyme action. And the reason that's important is enzymes are responsible for metabolic function, but it's also the metabolic ones are drawn to the tissue where it actually will start converting the scar tissue over to normal fibers. The body's the miracle here, not products, not ours included.
Right.
When we do that, it starts to release up because those restrictions in the fascia, oftentimes that's what's happening. There's some scarring in there. It doesn't allow the elasticity. There's a lot, and that's why massage breaks that up oftentimes, but it still doesn't replace those fibers. So when we use Topricin products, it does all of those things. It feels like the most luxurious hand cream you ever used in your life. So this is one of those very highly quality products that has a very different therapeutic value than all the other topicals. I'm a pioneer in bioenergy topically applied medicine. So this is one of those approaches in this particular area that really helps. We do a lot of our work with physiology and physiologists and physiatrists and massage and chiropractors and then everything from OBGYN to oncology. So this is one of those test pieces that typically is a big value, especially you should be so proud of yourself. You're so on the right track with everything else you're doing. And I guarantee you that what the products will do is give you that other piece to catalyze everything else. And here's the cool part. Because we open up those receptors and we also get the oxygen and nutrients back to normal, all those supplements that you're taking will have better bioavailability right in the tissue where you want it, right? Because now we got the whole physiology working, and the body's an absolute miracle. And you sound like the kind of person, Linda, that probably loves helping people, and you're not going to put up with having this pain since you're doing all the other things. And Topricin products or my Pain Away products, which is on our website, any one of those would be of value to you. So that's why and how we could actually help this situation, knowing what the physiology is doing and why you're having the issues.
So let me just ask you one other question, if that's okay.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So how much does food play, from what you know, your history, and I know, the gut health, and that moves out to the skin and the bones and the skin and fascia, all of that. Now, because I already eat a good diet. Now they're telling me I have to even conform more, that the food is really affecting. Actually, the muscle testing even told us that. So I'm having a little hard time with this, that I even have to, especially around the holidays, that I have to conform even more, the sugars, and I already do know dairy other than butter, because butter is a good fat, and I believe in getting good fats in our body. So what's your take on some of that?
Well, the one thing for sure is that the most essential thing I believe that is going to be the biggest help is that really looking at the anti-inflammatory kind of diet, where you just, remove those known offenders. And, the elimination diet is a huge help, because what happens is once you take out the known offenders, and especially that specific protocol, you can take them out and hang in there for at least a month. You'll see the results of the body getting back to normal, with many of the metabolic rates returning to normal, especially with high fructose corn syrup and sugars and all that kind of stuff. And I know what you mean. As I'm an Italian boy, so if I tell my relatives they got to stop eating cannolis or something, or Napoleons, they're like rather kill me,
Right. Well, and I had issues with parasites, and that's all been taken care of. And so I was on the parasite diet, which you might know is an anti-inflammatory, and my pain never went away. So, but I guess I just needed something that's really, like you said, attacking the receptors or building the receptors back up, and so on and so forth. And during that time, I need to just, because I don't do any of that bad stuff. Now, I do cheat, of course. I do cheat some.
See, that's because you're a very vibrant, amazing person. because we have to have. We're human, so our taste buds have to rule at least a couple of things, right? Right. But see, the cool thing is that your whole attitude about everything, and God bless you for it, really.
Well, it's the joy of the Lord. It's just,
There you go. And the same for me. It is centered in our life to know that these things are part of something in discovery that gives us that other sense of being an inspiration to other people, because there are other people I'm sure you've already come in contact with. And once you've established baseline, the cool thing about elimination diets, you don't have to be off things forever. It's just like, okay, let me take a look and see. Let me add that back in, something I really like. Let me add that back in and see what that actually does. But at least you're taking the offenders out of the way. And then you could select, and then you can decide, okay, wow, you know what, this thing, whether it be a gluten thing, some folks are confused about that whole gluten issue, white refined, but it gives you a real blueprint for yourself, because everybody's individual. There's no such thing as one size fits all. That's why I have to say you got to do this like everybody else. You got to drink 8-ounce glasses of water. That is not going to help folks. Most folks will not do that if they don't like water to begin with. But we can get people to be better hydrated. But elimination diets. Omegas, are you taking omegas as well in your diet?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Oh, good. Yeah. And has anybody ever indicated anything about like evening primrose oil, those kind of?
I'm on evening primrose.
Super. See, so because those are really strength, and oftentimes, looking from a protein point of view, the better available protein shakes can be incredibly good, because they're much more bioavailable than some of the meat products, and of course you're obviously being very careful not to eat stuff that's got steroids and antibiotics, as those things really are terrible disruptors. And removing MSG. Oh, by the way, before I forget, and this is for anybody, if you use the word topricin and you go to YouTube and you put it in the search bar, and you go ahead and click that, you'll find I have a bunch of pain management webinars in there, and a lot of the elimination stuff, especially MSG and artificial sweeteners and all that kind of stuff, because those are excitotoxins. So there's a lot of information there. You can go in and take a look at any one of those and get some information about what you can do to be of help there, because this is really an education empowerment. Knowledge is not power unless it's good information applied. And you've got some really great stuff that's going on there, Linda. And I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a big help to you, because this is going to be the one catalyzing thing that'll change the complexion of everything else that you're doing. And we're going to be getting out of here for a break for about 4 minutes. So if there's any other questions, you can certainly hang in there with me, or you can listen to the show, and or you can email me if you like, and you could do that at lou@top4pain.com. with any other questions you may have, and I'd be very happy to assist further.
Okay, great. I appreciate it, Lou, and this is the first time I heard your message, so here we go.
Thank you thank you, Linda. All right, thank you. You have a fabulous day and a blessed holiday. All right, folks, we are going to thank you so much, Linda, for that call. We so appreciate people who are calling us and saying hey. And at the end, we're going to be back with this and more of your stuff in just a few.
Welcome back to Solutions for Life. We're here to take your calls toll free at 877-956-9566. Now, back to your host, Lou Paradise.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Solutions for Life, Lou Paradise, decades-old researcher in natural medicine. Topical Biomedics is our company. Topperson and our My Pain Away products have revolutionized how people get treatment protocol, how we're advancing treatment protocol with doctors and patients to really help folks in this crazy age that we live in with all of the addiction to opiate painkillers that are around. And even if we didn't have that, even if we had no opiate addiction, nobody getting jacked up by OTC pain medicine that you could just kind of reach on the shelf in the pharmacy and go and take it, and get medical conditions, unfortunately, worse than you're treating than the pain you were trying to treat. Even if we didn't have all of that, we have a lot of folks still in pain and not getting a resolution. And I want to kind of explore this with you a bit, so to kind of let you know why that is. Just imagine now somebody's using hot, smelly, cold, smelly, greasy kind of ointments. And I'm saying this with all love and respect because there's a place for all of that. And that doesn't work, though, right? Because it doesn't do anything for the curing part of the body. It doesn't help the body balance the chemistries. The healing is more powerful than all the opiates on the planet Earth. I don't care if it's in the form of heroin or the form of RX pain meds, Vicodin, OxyContin, whatever. And they have no curative power. So when you go from the hot, smelly, greasy, then you got to take the over-the-counter painkillers. That isn't working for you, and you can't tolerate them. Then you go to opiates, right? You think, okay, I'm on the most powerful thing there is in the world, which is not true, because the body's healing is the most powerful thing we have that can heal the damage that's causing the problem. Healing is the ultimate form of relieving pain, and that's where my research 50 years ago kicked in. If healing is the most important and most formidable ultimate way of relieving pain, why in the world are we paying attention to that? Since the body can do this miracle, and that's what the body is. Products are not. And just so let's look at some stats just so we can figure it out and understand there's no curative power in topical ointments that only deaden the sensation of pain. That's smelly, hot, greasy, cold, smelly, greasy products, which lead, of course, if those worked, nobody would be taking, no pain sufferer would be taking metric tons of all of the stuff out there, including Aleve, Advil, Motrin, Tylenol, all the brands you know. Pardon me. The one most essential part is that providing superior relief has to start with how do we help the body heal if healing is the ultimate form of relieving pain. So let's just look at the statistics that tell us how sad it is and what we have is the dilemma in our country, which is wrecking lives in opiate addiction from legal drugs, and why we can do something about those at the same time. So let's look at that. And maybe there's a piece of information you may not know. Did you know that when you take, we're going to pick on Vicodin and OxyContin. In a few minutes, I'm going to tell you the statistics on those so you'll know why I'm picking on those. Do you know that when you take those rewire what is called your neural pathways in your brain? Your receptor becomes more in need of more of those opiates, right? It makes you more addicted. Here's the worst part. Those products can cause something, all opiates, I don't care which brand it is, RX, prescription, opiate medication, can cause something called hyperalgesia. If you go and look up hyperalgesia, it'll say, and you're going to say, this is nuts, right? It's either Lou, you're nuts, or it's nuts, right? But here, it can cause you, more times than not, to be more sensitive to pain. Let me say it again. All those opiates cause hyperalgesia, which can cause you to be more sensitive to pain. Now, if the average person is taking those kind of painkillers, they got a brain fog going on. It's hard to think, it's hard to do anything, and it flattens you out, right? It rewires you and turns your life upside down. So you can't think straight about this. So what does it tell you when you're taking the meds? You're saying, oh my God, this dosage isn't helping me, and I got more pain now. What do? Well, if you're the average person without thinking and not knowing and not having anybody to say this to you, you're going to take more of those meds. That's where you trip over that line between any possibility of a therapeutic value of any of those kinds of meds and the potential of dying from that stuff. Because it's a respiratory suppressant. That means that if you take too much of that, it will shut your ability to breathe down. Now, we all know when you stop breathing, you're pretty much done. So let's look at the stats on this. 5% of the world is represented as the population living in this phenomenal country called the United States of America. 5% of the world lives here. We take 100% of the worldwide distribution of Vicodin and 98% of the worldwide distribution, could you imagine, of OxyContin. Those are synthetic forms of opium. That's the reason why we have this terrible addiction. The synthetic forms of opium are far more addictive that literally within 3 to 5 days, the average person has the unfortunate possibility of getting addicted to these pain meds. And we're talking about hard-working class, amazing Americans, right? Who went to the doctor and got a script. Now, let me just give you don't throw the doctor under the bus here. Let me just give you what happens with doctors. They're trained in medical school 4 months, pharmaceutical training, 4 hours nutrition. These folks they went to medical school to help folks. So why not throw them under the bus? They're given tools that they were told, going to be best for the patient. Want to treat pain, want to treat them so they're comfortable and they're not in danger. Nobody knew, at least at that point in time, this kind of thing was going to happen. You get addicted to these kinds of pain meds in less than 5 days or thereabouts. We have to be weaned off. Now, here's the statistic that saddens me more than any one of those, because we know that lives are getting wrecked out there. This isn't a doom and gloom program. This is a good news program because we have an answer. And it's not the only answer, but we have one of the answers for it. But this is the sad statistic. 13,500 little, beautiful, blameless, selfless, newborn babies every single year in our country are born addicted to their mom's painkillers. Now, there ain't a mom on the planet Earth, we all know that ever would have ever allowed that, let alone planned that. But if you don't do a drug panel on somebody, blood work for a woman that's getting prenatal care, there's no way in the world to know that she's taking those if you didn't ask or you didn't advise. And even now, there's now new stuff that just came out in pain management news that indicated that the birth defects that are now relative and absolutely directly related to painkillers. So when we look at the cause of pain as opposed to the symptoms of pain, and that's been the problem here, the medical model is now changing to look at all the other possibilities of how we can actually integrate other approaches to look at pain. Because the biggest challenge people have is if you don't know all your options, if you don't have all your options on the table at the same time, right up front, when you're getting your diagnosis and or prognosis or anything that's happening, you at that point in time will not only your options, but if you don't know all of them, you don't have any. And you wind up with that slippery slope of scripted medicine because you couldn't quite get rid of that back pain. You couldn't quite get rid of that ankle pain, that neck and shoulder pain, restless leg syndrome, phantom pain. If you have an amputee, you couldn't get rid of this stuff. The arthritis, your hands and wrists and elbows and all those places where you have that flexibility in the joints, all aching, nerve pain, diabetic neuropathy, chemo-induced neuropathy, fibromyalgia. So pain meds will never get you there because they have no ability to balance the healing chemistry in order to help your body heal the cellular damage that's causing your pain. So when we look at why we have our Topperson brand of products, my research was rocking for all those years right alongside these dilemmas way back before Oxy and Vicodin and Lorcet, Percocet and Hydro and fentanyl and all this crazy stuff came out in the marketplace. People can't manage themselves on opiates. You know, this was for end life. So what does a person do? Well, we actually have the protocol that begins the process of helping people with Topperson products that help to move the toxins and fluid pressure off those capillaries, like we were talking with Linda from Ohio just a few minutes ago, so that we can simply and readily restore oxygen nutrient molecules, the needed blood flow to joint tissue and nerve tissue. Because all we have there is microcirculation. Some of the microcirculation or the microcapillaries are so small that only one cell of blood fits through them. That one oxygen molecule on that cell of blood or that one nutrient molecule on that cell of blood needs to arrive at that cell. Otherwise, the cell does what? A whole bunch of hands went out there, Dr. Young. Yeah, exactly. The cell starts to die. And if you replicate, the body's kind of mirror image of replicating cells. The cell it's looking at is going to be what it's going to replicate. So when you got a good cell that's damaged, it's going to be replicated with another cell that's damaged. That's how this thing starts. That's why we got to get down to the cellular level to relieve the pain that's causing the problem. And so what we know is that two things. We will be back with more of what this information about Solutions for Life Lou Paradise. Answer any questions you may have. 877-956-9566. 877-956-9566 with you in just a few.
Do you love walking, but your achy, tired feet won't let you? Whether it's plantar fasciitis, arch, heel, or nerve pain, Toppers and Foot Therapy Cream's 14 active natural biomedicines helps your body heal damage-causing foot pain. It's odorless, moisturizing, provides rapid soothing relief, ideal for diabetic foot pain, and will leave your feet feeling silky smooth. Best part is guaranteed to work. Find Toppers and Foot Therapy in Walgreens Diabetic section or CVS's Foot section. Toppers and Foot Therapy Cream for lasting pain relief guaranteed.
Welcome back. Just was on there talking to the fabulous Dr. Young. Thank you again, Sean, for everything you do behind the scenes, because if it wasn't for you, nobody on this fabulous talk, Sirius XM Talk 131, Family Talk Radio, could be doing anything at all. So in any event, looking at the curative power of medicines, natural biomedicines in the case of Topperson products, our first product contained 11. Our sports product, which is on the other end of the fulcrum, contains 17 natural biomedicines. So this is a very different approach to relieving pain by helping the body to balance the necessary chemistries, because that's what the body's asking us for, to heal the damage that's causing the pain. So let me just give you another little scientific approach to this. So when we look at physical pain, we want to, people think, I want to get rid of it at all costs, right? That's why we're so jacked with the stuff that we're taking in our country, because we're still trying to deal with the symptoms versus dealing with the cause of the cells that are actually causing the issue. So if you don't know, and you've not heard this before, you want to pay attention, because this is really important. When we suffer physical pain, the pain is a message center. Pain is a actual chemical message center that alerts the body's healing chemistries. It needs some help in an area where we hurt, whether it be arthritis, or lower back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, neck and shoulder pain. It could be knees and hips and toes and fingers. It doesn't matter where it is on the body, that the body wants to alert that it needs certain things in order for the relief of pain to come through the healing process. So physical pain is directly attached to healing. Now, we short circuit getting just rid of the pain as opposed to paying attention to why the pain is telling us stuff. So when pain goes off, it's actual chemical that irritates the area where we hurt to form this sense of it being in pain, so the body can alert the rest of what happens, the rest of the things it needs in order to bring about the repair. Now, so here's what happens. The damaged cells and the healthy cells are kind of screaming out at the same time, the body's pain signal, I need more oxygen. I need more nutrients. If I don't have oxygen and nutrients consistently in these cells, the cells start to get damaged. So the body could care less what we call the kind of pain. The same mechanism exists. So the insufficiency of blood flow, the microcirculation of oxygen delivery, nutrient delivery, and metabolic waste materials coming out of the tissue cause the pain signal to go higher. So the lesser the oxygen levels, the higher the pain. When we don't do anything about the excess fluid pressure, and we don't do this by helping the natural body. The body wants to naturally do these things. Move those toxins out of the way. Just get the pressure off the capillaries. Don't mess with things. Don't try to fix one chemical reactor to the other, trying to inhibit PG2 or COX2 and PG1 and COX1 interfered with, which is the healing side of the process, by the way, because that's what happens when we take medicines. They don't discriminate. It's just like we take antibiotics, they don't discriminate between the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Just whack all of the stuff out of there, and the whole internal body gets metabolically dysfunctional. So when the oxygen levels don't arrive, body's screaming for it. The higher the pain, the lower the oxygen levels. Removing those excess fluids and toxins, simply getting them out of the tissue, is the body's natural factor of what it needs to do to get that oxygen, nutrient-rich blood back into the cells. When we use Topperson products, these 11 medicines in Topperson It is not only not greasy, it is literally moisturizing because we use coconut, which is a nourishing emollient for the skin itself. Get the skin completely functional, absorbs this entire package of 11 medicines almost instantaneously, goes down into those lymphatics. It it gets that fluid that's congested there moved out of the tissue, and boom, just a bada bing thing. As a New York boy, you can't help himself. Gets the whole blood flow immediately back to normal. And when that happens, the body's healing the damage that's causing the pain. That's the difference. Curative power comes from the body. We can assist that. All the other stuff that we have out there we're using is not doing that function. That is why we have the issues that we have, and that is the reason why people get issues like this and not get it resolved. Now, we got our beautiful brothers from Texas. We never keep any of our callers waiting. Mike, Lou Paradise, thank you for calling. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing a whole lot better, but I got a couple questions on
Sure.
nerve-ending pains and anything I can do to either regenerate nerves. We know how to tackle Bell's palsy early last month.
Wow. Okay, so what kind of treatment are you doing for the Bell's palsy?
Well, I was on that prednisone. I took the course of the medication, and I did my last couple of pills a couple of days ago, and I'm doing exercises for the rest of it.
Gotcha. And so the exercises and whatever, a lot of the stuff for Bell's palsy, this dysfunction in the nerve tissue is something that we're really familiar with. Our entire mechanism for action. When I built these medicines, these natural products, this is 22 years of doing this, was to absolutely find the best approach to helping the nerve tissue. That's the first thing we do: treat the skin and help the nerve tissue. So our Topricin products, they won't interfere with any meds you may be taking. The kind of facial paralysis and what happens in Bell's palsy is a miserable thing, primarily because of the fact that it affects so many of the different functional parts. And so, are you typically in a situation? Is this happening in your face, or where's your Bell's palsy finding itself as far as what it's doing in terms of where in the face? Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the most essential parts of the help that we can provide is looking at how we can help that nerve function to return back to normal, so that your functional part of it, starts to help the musculature and all the nerve tissue to come back to a more normal rate and a normal range. And the function of the nerves is really simple. In the nerve tissue, that whole idea of function in the nerves is based on oxygen and nutrients arriving to the nerve tissue on a regular basis. And some of the disruption of viruses, sometimes injuries, sometimes cold, sometimes hot, can actually cause this symptomatic circumstance. The cool thing about Topricin products, and you'll love this, Mike, you could use them anywhere on the body, including your face. We have a lot of folks who've had Bell's palsy, trigeminal neuralgia, similarities, and our products work incredibly well to restore the function of the nerves, which is really a key. Even getting detoxification of the nerve tissue. So if there's any pathogens hanging around in there, that helps. Has anybody ever told you about things like omegas? These are natural nutrients. Have anybody give you that information?
Yes. I've been taking omegas.
B complex as well?
On and off for a while. Was B complex? No, I haven't had any information on the B.
Okay, so the B complex, and let me give you the website for Topricin products, because I know we'll run out of time before too long, and I want to make sure you got that information. If you go to TOP, the number 4 pain, topforpain.com, you go right on our website and you'll see our products. Our original formulation, which is the one we always start with, is the one I would recommend. But all of our products will be of value because they treat the skin and they treat the nerve tissue and they restore the blood flow and oxygenation to the tissue so that we can get the nerve tissue back to normal and calm it all down so that a normal part of the tissue starts that process. Omegas have an incredible, invaluable part of how they help nerve tissue to rejuvenate itself. B complex, really important. Most people, Mike, are deficient in B complex vitamins, which is the whole complex together. There's something called It's something called B50, which is 50 milligrams of all of B's together. Taking those like 3 times a day, and here's the reason: B complex vitamins are involved with all metabolic function and involved in keeping the nerve cells healthy. B6 specifically reduces inflammation inside the nerve tissue and involved with metabolic functions of the nerve. So everybody could be deficient in B complex. The other side is vitamin D3, same thing. Vitamin D3 operates so many different functions of metabolic functions in nerve tissue and metabolic functions of the organs as well. And people, and most everybody on the planet, as long as we spend more time inside than outside, most everybody's deficient in these 2 things. This is a real big help for something like Bell's palsy because we're, again, getting the nerve function back to normal. The Topricin products will help to stimulate getting the toxins and fluids out of the way and helping to restore the other side of how the function of the nerve actually works. So, and you're going to find, and when you go there, you can see, you could use our if you want to order online, you certainly could do that, and you could use our promotion code or our discount code, which is LOU, L-O-U 30. Or you can go on the store locator and locate the products near you, what part of Texas are you from? Houston. Oh yeah. So we have plenty of distribution in that area. There's a home medical equipment marketplace retailers that have it, and a whole bunch of other stores and whatever that carry the product. So how long have you had the Bell's palsy, by the way?
Well, it occurred around the 3rd of November. I stayed in the hospital for up until the 12th.
Gotcha.
And I've gotten, I wouldn't say rejuvenation. The twisting of the face has improved almost back to normal, not drooping to one side as it was. But, I just wanted
now we're going to be bailing out here in about 20 seconds, Mike. But let me give you my email address. It's Lou at top4pain.com. Email me any other questions you have. I'd be very happy to answer, and I can guide you better. And I'm sorry we're at the end of the show because we're right up against that final break.
Okay, I got you. Is regular oxygen something I could use? So no.
What's that?
Regular oxygen, like from oxygen tank or bottle.
Oh, sure. Yeah, oxygen levels are improving in the characteristics of the whole body, so you can always go to there. And a lot of the HME retailers have that oxygen available right in their stores. So that is certainly an approach to get oxygen levels back to normal. But that's exactly how Topricin products work. They help the body to restore the blood flow to the nerve tissue that's going to help the nerve to heal. And once we do that, then the rest of it will follow exactly as your protocol went. So I know for sure you're going to get relief here. Now, we're going to be out of here, unfortunately. So I want to thank Mike and looking at how we can make sure that we're doing the right thing. Blessings to you and your family, all the good things in this life you richly deserve. Lou Paradise saying thanks so much for listening.
Do you love walking, but your achy, tired feet won't let you? Whether it's plantar fasciitis, arch, heel, or nerve pain, Topricin Foot Therapy Cream's 14 active natural biomedicines helps your body heal damage-causing foot pain. Its odorless, moisturizing, provides rapid, soothing relief. Ideal for diabetic foot pain and will leave your feet feeling silky smooth. Best part is guaranteed to work. Find Topricin Foot Therapy in Walgreens Diabetic section or CVS's Foot section. Topricin Foot Therapy Cream for lasting pain relief guaranteed.